Carlos, just start the video and say rate, comment, and subscribe. We don't need a frickin' soliloquy, you thick-tongued menace. Oh my gosh, she lived at 142nd and Freddy Doug. Girl, I was right around the corner on 141st in Amsterdam. Oh my God. 142nd and Freddy Doug. You was probably one of them cheap Liberty apartments. So she was discovered by Director X. He was shooting a video in Toronto. She got $2,500 in free travel to do the Big Pimpin' video. And $2,500 back then was money. She was an illegal citizen working without a visa for 2 years. So then she got a modeling agency to get her a visa so then she could be here legally. You know, they're talking about New York in the early 2000s. I was there. And was it epic? See, I wasn't at the parties with Melyssa Ford, so it wasn't epic for me. She's been to a Diddy party, but never invited to a freak-off. She said, I never sneak off to a freak-off. She said that she definitely had some scary moments being a video vixen, but because there was no HR, a lot of the girls, she said, were resourceful and you hung out together and always had like a battle plan, so to speak. Sounds awful. And she said that a lot of women would serve up another woman so that they would get the attention off them, like an extra or woman lower on the totem pole. She said when I was at Diddy parties, everything was on the up and up. I never tipped off to a freak off. She said it doesn't surprise her and she's sure there's going to be more men that are implicated because there's probably connective tissue betwixt the people that hang out. She mentioned the Rock Nation brunch. I didn't, she did. She said, I ain't got no subpoena coming. Now we get into, is Melyssa a girl's girl? She said, where'd you hear it from that I'm not a girl's girl? She said, I've never competed with anybody else, so I can be a girl's girl. The work I was given, I was chosen for. There was no one to beat out. The videos I was chosen for, it was me or nobody. And then she said I worked my ass off to get my BET job, so nothing was handed. She said, my circle of girlfriends is massive and global. She said, but I have received lethal jealousy in this industry, like when Geneva hit that bitch with a bottle. Hit this biffer with a bottle. It was a diamond-shaped magnum of champagne. She got me in the temple with one of them points. Cracked my skull. Other than that, she wasn't able to give us a lot of the legal details, but there was a settlement. Everybody want to know where Geneva is now. Some people say she on TikTok. I ain't looking for the heifer. But she did email me. Well, she had a fake lawyer email me with a fake threat. Let me see if I can find it. Yep. Warning, stop spreading lies in your review, or we'll deal with you plain and simple, sir. I enjoy your blood, sweat, and heel roast, but the lies and venom you spread on Geneva is uncalled for. And you actually live in New York? I'm an attorney born and raised in New York. We all know how awful cabs can be. I'm Jewish and I've seen it firsthand for black people who are marginalized and often discriminated against. It happens all the time, sir. You are a hateful man, and as long as you are roasting people and saying awful, mean, and untrue things about them in a public, open media platform, you will never flourish. Your comedy career will never happen. You'll never become a YouTube hit. Watch Geneva's glam video here. You can clearly see she doesn't have a twin bed. A twin bed? Come on, that's a stretch. We all know you're reaching really hard to spill on her, to split. Oh, she said split, but I guess she meant spit on her name and reputation. You go too hard on Geneva in your videos, sir. People notice it and it seems as if it's personal. What did Geneva ever do to you? You live in NYC. Is it personal? Do you have a friend or an acquaintance who knows her and has it out for her? Be more careful when it comes to Geneva and all the girls in your reviews. Stop it or be dealt with. Warning number 1. Oh my God. So Geneva is very aggressive. It's a show on YouTube called The Roast and Review, and you really pretended to be this white woman and messaged me. And this was sent April 21st, 2015 at 9:07 in the morning. So that's my experience with Geneva. He was offered to show run Blood, Sweat, and Heels. Why didn't you? That was before you put that lie in Phaedra's mouth to tell Portia, allegedly. She said, I still got a dent from that hit. She's single too. She said the dating pool has more than pee and fecal matter in it. It is fucked. I want to know where the men are too. And now we getting into the Drake and Takara of it all. So this was back in 2009. Why do we care? Melyssa says she never had sex with Drake. I could see it. I could see her not giving a fuck that much. I could see her not being that interested, but I'm going to just date you for the clout of it. For the check of it all. For the opportunity. I mean, if Drake asked me out, I'm going. I'm fucking going. I am putting on some nice clothes. I'm putting on some good cologne. I'm having some good conversation. I'm going. Best foot forward. Shit. I'm fucking him though. I'm not gonna miss that opportunity. It's de rigueur for her. For me, I'm not gonna miss that opportunity. I'm gonna keep it real. Melyssa said, well, let's be honest. I was pissed off about that. I don't know why the conversation came up. It was already addressed on my podcast. However, she feels Takara had some revisionist history. She said, I really didn't want to address it. Then why don't you not? It's okay to not. And honestly, he brought it up so that way when he would have you on the show and he was eventually going to ask you, you'd have something to talk about. Some plotline bullshit he figured out. We can see your trifling producing ways, Carlos. You bring somebody on and have them talk shit about the next guest you want on, so that way I'm going to respond. Thank God Melyssa gonna sum it up because Thic tongue is yammering. She said, I went to my girlfriend's house because I was excited I was dating a guy. It was me in 2009. Don't forget, I was the shit. I'm not worried about nobody else in the world, never have been, and never will be. So Carlos was her producer on BET Style, and he used to hype the heifer up. I'm gonna hype up this beautiful coral from Zoya. It's also everything, with just enough sparkle to give it the right amount of shine. Oh, he asked about Flow Rider. She said, ew, God, oh, yuck. I don't care. Don't keep up with them. Not interested. He wanted her to date Nas. She said, well, you should have set it up, but I don't know. Khalees said he wasn't shit. He asked her about Jason Lee and Child. She was a class act. She said, look, I was grieving my mom. He had to go on with the show. He made some decisions I didn't agree with, but I don't have any hard feelings. Meanwhile, he bashing her on Drink Champs looking like a hurt sissy. Besides, she's on the #1 podcast. All right, well, that was the shit. It was an hour and a half that wasn't necessary. 30 minutes, honey. All she had was 30 minutes, but I suffered through for you. But let's get to some real hot topics.